The living room should be for living. The living room used to be considered a formal entertaining space, a room filled with fine furniture that was largely off limits until the company arrived. Visitors, that is, but we've come a long way. I grew up with my parents' living room furniture wrapped in plastic, said Clara Jung, the principal of Banner Day Interiors, a firm based in Berkeley, California. It was definitely for formal occasions and barely used. But that never seemed quite right. It's kind of perverse that you would have a prime real estate in the house, but the most underutilized space, she said. In her design work, Miss Jung aims to make the living room a much more casual, inviting space that serves a wide variety of functions. Designing a living room to serve multiple functions means you get to spend more time in what is often one of the best areas of the home. It also can be a necessity in urban apartments where space is at a premium. We asked Miss Jung and other designers how they design do-it-all living rooms that still feel composed. Consider your needs. To design a room you'll really enjoy, first consider how you want to use the space. Don't automatically think you need to fill the living room with family heirlooms. Where the New York architecture firm Dunham Robinson designs homes, they said we get completely away from thinking about what the traditional elements of a living room are, said Rachel Robinson, partner of the firm. Instead, we get to know our clients' lifestyles and figure out what functional needs we have to accommodate. For instance, when designing an apartment in the Upper West Side, the living room needed to be a media center, a library, and entertaining space. Ms. Robinson said, for another Upper West Side client with a small loft where the owner wants to work from home, finding space for a desk was a priority, she said, even if it meant creating a more compact sitting area. Depending on your interests and priorities, your living room could double as a playroom, a breakfast area, a cocktail bar, a workout space, or even an art studio. Assess your space. The size of your living room will affect how many functions it can serve, of course, but you might be surprised at just how much can be squeezed into even a small space. When Erin Ferrens, a partner of the architecture and interior design firm Studio SFW, conceived her family's apartment in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn, she packed many functions into the 225 square foot living room. Where it connects to the kitchen, she added wallpaper, a settee, and corded sconce by a small table to create a dining space. She added custom cabinetry with frames of TV for movie nights and hid a bar behind sliding panels, and she still had enough space to make a generous sitting area where the walls are lined with art. The living room had to be a do-everything-for-everyone space, she said, because it was the one big common area for her family of four. Even larger homes with expansive living rooms can benefit from similar designs. Almost all of our clients, whether they're in urban or suburban homes, want to occupy their living spaces, said Andrew France, an architect in New York, rather than having unused rooms that feel like furniture showrooms. It's almost a bigger challenge for people who have too much space, said France. How do you make it feel more intimate? How do you make it usable? Create zones. The answer is to make the most of your living room, whether it's tiny, average, or palatial, is to create different sections for different functions rather than having everything blend together. France said, try to create multiple little zones within the space. And this could be done with doors, screens, and walls, or more simply with the placement of furniture, rugs, and lighting. In one home, for instance, Mr. Franz installed a desk with a folding top in one corner of the living room, near a pair of large bifold doors that could close a dining area off from the main sitting area. In another home, he placed a desk behind one wing of the sectional sofa in an open living room, added a bar where the room transitions to dining space, and tucked another small table behind a wall holding a TV. A small table at one end of a living room is a place to leave out a project or leave out a mess, said Franz, without throwing a primary sitting area into disarray. If the kids want to do Legos in the evening or do a puzzle, you can leave it out and finish it the next night. Embrace awkward spaces. When your living room has a single function, leftover alcoves and architectural quirks, like awkwardly placed columns, can seem like liabilities, but when you're trying to introduce multiple functions, these elements can be an advantage. Miss Farron's living room has one wall that terminates in the center of a bay window. Few people would see the benefit in such an architectural oddity, but Miss Farron's made the most of it by turning the nook into a window seat with a pendant lamp for reading. When the Toronto-based designer Sam Sachs renovated a 1,200 square foot cottage for a client, she was faced with a primary living space bisected by an open staircase. This house is so small that the whole ground floor needed to be a hangout space, Sachs said. She used the separation to create a media room for watching TV and listening to records on one side of the stairs, and a dining area wrapped by bookcases that also serves as a library and home office on the other. When Miss Jung designed the living room with a leftover alcove, she closed the awkward space with bookcases, including one that functions as a secret door leading to a private listening den for a record collector. It was like this annex that served no purpose, Miss Jung said, and who does not like the magic of a hidden back door, bookcase door? Use small-scale furniture. When trying to squeeze multiple functions into a small living room, one pitfall to avoid is buying large-scale furniture. Many contemporary sofas and armchairs have deep seats and wide arms that eat up a lot of space, but you don't need extra large furniture to be comfortable. When the furniture is a little more petite, it makes the space feel larger, Franz says, and you can fit more pieces in a room without it feeling crowded. This is where trying out sofas and chairs in stores and showrooms before purchasing can help, so you can be sure they're comfortable even if they have modest proportions. Consider marking out the footprints of potential pieces on your living room floor with painter's tape before you buy them, and to make sure everything will fit. Use transformable furniture. If all the furniture you want simply won't fit, there's still another option. Use shape-shifting or transformable pieces. When Dunham Robinson was designing a 350 square foot Manhattan apartment that they wanted to feel spacious, they decided a custom wall-mounted table. When the owner is entertaining or watching TV, the table stows flat against the wall, above a bench, resembling a framed artwork. And when they need a dining table or a desk, it folds down and the bench pulls out to provide seating. It converts the room from living space to home office to dinner party, Robinson said. While that table was custom, some furniture companies such as Resource Furniture make similar products, including flip-top desks and coffee tables that rise and expand to be dining or game tables. This is from New York Times on DNYUZ. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.